Hello friends, welcome to Buddhist History That Won't Put You to Sleep. I'm Ivy. Today we're going to talk about a particularly fascinating topic, how Buddha came into this world.
Ivy, when I think about Buddha's birth, I remember watching Journey to the West as a kid. When the Monkey King was wreaking havoc in heaven, the Jade Emperor was at his wit's end and quickly shouted, "Quick, go get the Tathagata Buddha." And when Buddha arrived, he pressed Sun Wukong under the five-finger mountain with just one hand. Was Buddha this extraordinary as a child too?
Kai, that's a great question. Buddha was indeed no ordinary person. But before we talk about his birth, let me take you on a journey back 2,500 years. You know what? The era when Buddha was born was like Earth had activated a cheat code.
What do you mean?
The period from the 6th to the 5th century BCE is what we now call the Axial Age. Why do we call it that? Because in these 200 to 300 years, it's as if the whole Earth had made an appointment to simultaneously produce a bunch of world-changing geniuses. In China, we had Lao Tzu and Confucius, India produced Buddha, and Europe had Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Isn't that incredible?
Such a coincidence? It's like heaven sent humanity a gift package.
Exactly. Many of the ideas we use today can be traced back to that era. All right, let's get back to our topic and talk about the background of Buddha's birth. At that time, India wasn't a unified country like today, but was divided into 16 states, somewhat like our Warring States period in China. 3 major kingdoms were particularly powerful, all located in the Ganges River basin, India's mother river. There was Magadha on the south bank of the Ganges, Kosala in the northwest, and Vaji in the northeast.
Which country was Buddha from?
Buddha was born in a small kingdom called Kapilavastu. Note, a small kingdom, not a big one. How small was this kingdom? To put it in perspective, if those 3 major kingdoms were like provincial capitals, Kapilavastu would be at most a county town. And this small kingdom couldn't survive independently. It had to depend on a major power and became a vassal of Kosala. Interestingly, this small kingdom still maintained a rather primitive republican system. Although there was a king, the real power lay with the elders and the assembly. The king was more like a spokesperson. Buddha's father was the king of this small country.
The son of a king. That makes him a prince.
Right, but this prince's birth was extraordinary. Buddha's father was called King Suddhodana. Interesting name, right? He had 3 brothers, King Dronodana, King Sukodana, and King Amritodana.
Haha, the whole family is obsessed with rice?
It actually relates to the local economy. Kapilavastu was an agricultural state, mainly growing rice, so the royal family used rice-related names. Like how some people today have surnames like wheat or grain. It's all connected to livelihood. King Suddhodana married Princess Maya from the neighboring city of Devadaha. The couple loved each other deeply, but there was one big problem. They had no children for many years. It wasn't until King Suddhodana was in his 40s or 50s that Maya became pregnant for the first time.
Having a child in your 40s or 50s, that was really late in ancient times.
Yes, and the conception was particularly legendary. It's said that Maya had a dream where a white elephant with 6 tusks descended from heaven and entered her body through her right side. After that, she was pregnant.
Wait, an elephant with 6 tusks? That sounds pretty magical.
Buddhist scriptures indeed contain many such mythical elements. But we can understand it this way. In ancient Indian culture, the white elephant was a particularly auspicious and noble symbol. Like when we Chinese speak of dragon sons, it essentially hints that this child would be extraordinary. After becoming pregnant, Maya felt wonderful, fresh and energetic every day. She loved to walk everywhere, by the forest edge, by the riverside. Time passed and the birth approached. There was a custom in India at that time. Women should give birth, especially their first child, at their parents' home. So King Suddhodana arranged for Maya to return to Devadaha. He organized 2 elephants as transportation and a group of court ladies as companions.
Haha, the ancient version of going home to give birth.
Exactly. But halfway there, Maya got tired and saw a beautiful garden by the roadside, the Lumbini Garden. She said, "Let's rest there for a while." This place is no longer in India today, but in Nepal, and it's a world-famous Buddhist pilgrimage site. Our master, Xuanzang, visited it during his journey to the west and saw the stone pillar erected by King Ashoka, inscribed with "Birthplace of Buddha." But then the place was forgotten for over 1,000 years, until it was rediscovered by archaeologists in the 19th century.
So Buddha was born in the garden.
Yes, and the manner of birth was very special. Maya walked to an Ashoka tree, reached out to support herself on a branch, and at that very moment, the child was born.
That fast?
The Buddhist scriptures report even more amazing things. When the prince was born, flowers rained from heaven, celestial music played, and 2 streams of water descended, one warm, one cool, to bathe the prince. 2 pools also emerged from the earth, one hot and one cold. That's why Buddhism calls the 8th day of the 4th lunar month the Buddha Bathing Festival. Even more amazing, the prince could walk immediately after birth, and not ordinary walking. He walked in the air. He took 7 steps in each of the 4 cardinal directions, and with each step, a lotus flower bloomed beneath his feet.
7 steps, 7 lotuses. I have heard of that.
Right. Then the prince pointed to heaven with his right hand and to earth with his left, speaking those famous words, "In heaven and on earth, I alone am the honored one."
That sounds pretty arrogant. Claiming to be the greatest, right after being born?
Haha, Kai, you've misunderstood. This is a common misconception. This I doesn't refer to Buddha himself, but to the true self, the purest, most authentic, Buddha nature, deep within every person. Think of it this way. It's as if everyone is born with a diamond pure heart that later gets covered by the dust of life. Buddha's words actually mean the pure nature within every person is the most precious thing between heaven and earth.
Oh, that's what it means. Not that he himself is the most powerful, but that everyone carries something precious within.
Exactly. This is what Buddhism means by everyone has Buddha nature. In Journey to the West, Sun Wukong says, "Don't seek Buddha in distant lands. The sacred mountain is in your own heart." This means the true Buddha isn't far away, but within yourself. By the way, here's something interesting. Buddhist scriptures say that when Buddha was born, auspicious lights appeared everywhere, including in China. King Zhao of Zhou was ruling at the time, and when he saw the light in the west, he asked his ministers what was happening. The ministers said, "A great sage has been born in the west. In 1,000 years, his teachings will come here."
So that was Buddhism's first greeting to China.
You could say that. Although it's a legend, it's interesting. It shows that ancient people were already thinking about connections between different civilizations. All right, let's review today's content. Buddha was born 2,500 years ago during the Axial Age, a time of great intellectual explosion for humanity. He was born in a small kingdom dependent on a larger empire. His father was King Shuddhodana, and his mother was Queen Maya. His birth was full of legends. The white elephant dream, birth in the garden, 7 steps with lotus flowers, in heaven and on earth, I alone am the honored one. But most importantly, we need to understand the true meaning of I alone am the honored one. It's not arrogance, but a reminder that everyone carries the most precious Buddha nature within, and that's what we should cherish and develop.
Ivy, what happened after Buddha's birth? How did the prince become Buddha?
That story is even more exciting. With prophecies from sages, youthful doubts, midnight escape, next time we'll talk about how Buddha transformed from a pampered prince into a truth-seeking ascetic. Friends, if you found today's content interesting, please share it with your friends. See you next time.